Kia ora koutou whānau, welcome back. Glad to be with you again. For those of you who have been with me in the past wee while, you would have seen that a recent podcast I did was with Anthony Powell. Anthony Powell is a man who has spent, of his years, 10 of them, is it cumulatively, when you add up if you bring all the times he spent in Antarctica together, it equals 10 years. He spent 10 years of his life in Antarctica. Since 2009, Anthony has been a professional full-time videographer, filmmaker, documentary filmmaker, and a lot of his time spent in Antarctica, even prior to 2009, was actually sort of working as a telecommunications expert who also worked as who did kind of videoing and photography on the side, which then turned into a career, which then turned into, quite a lot of success for the man. He put out a documentary, I think it was in 2012, called Antarctica, A Year on Ice. They won awards all over the world. And I had a fun hour and a quarter that I got a chance to chat with him, and I'll put the link in the description for that whole podcast so you can go check it out for yourself. But one of the things that came up in that podcast, for those of you who enjoy the Flat Earth conversations, is Antarctica and 24 hours of sun. Now, Anthony is someone who has a bit of infamy amongst some in the Flat Earth community, because part of his documentary shows 24 hours of sun in Antarctica. The Flat Earth community, when I say debunked it, I mean claim to have debunked it because they say that there was an edit in the 24-hour cycle of sun, making it null and void. Now, the truth is there was an edit, but there was a reason for that. Second bit of truth for you to know is I have the raw footage of what we're about to see. So before the end of this little response video, it's a weird one because it's kind of a response to myself responding to anyone. Anyway, it's a bit of it's a macro into a micro conversation we're having. I will be showing you on more than one occasion the raw footage of 24 hours sun in Antarctica. But for now, let us have a look at actually what was said in the podcast yesterday. And this is Anthony and I talking about the footage that's in the documentary of the 24-hour sun, and why actually there were some I'll say alleged inconsistencies, or basically what people were complaining about when it came to the footage.
In the documentary, there's a scene of the 24-hour sun night that I filmed in McMurdo Station. Yeah.
Let's show that while we're talking. So if I bring up your screen, you should be able to push play. Oh, let's just watch this bit, and then we can talk to it.
Check the time. It's just after 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock midnight, though.
And you'll notice Observation Hill in the back, left picture of picture there, and there it is in the background, so on the right.
All right.
So people were complaining about how the clouds in the start of this shot matched the clouds at the end of the shot, and there's a reason for that, and that's that the original shot ran for a couple of days, but the editor decided he wanted to start with the same imagery in the background to just help give the visual flow. So what we actually did was cut it in the middle, and if you look super closely here, around about when the sun passes behind the light bulb, you see a little crossfade on the clouds in the background. And that's where we've actually joined the two ends of the clip together, and now we're going back around to the start of the clip. So from the point where the sun disappears behind Observation Hill again, we're seeing the same footage that was at the very start.
Right.
So these are the matching clouds here that people were complaining about.
So there is an edit.
Yeah.
There is an edit to that.
There's a cut in the middle, and that was, I didn't even think anything about it at the time, but the editor just said, it would be much better visually if we could start and stop on Observation Hill, because it was a continuous day and a half, and we were only going to show 24 hours. But he said, well, it'd be much better if we start there and just loop the clip in the middle. So I didn't really think anything about it at the time.
So there you go. So the story is very, very clear. It's very eloquently put by Anthony that they made an editing decision to splice two lots of a 24-hour rotation together. Now, the thing is, I have the raw footage that goes actually for a day and a half. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you this footage now, and then I'm going to talk through the footage to make sure everyone's clear, and then I'm going to show you the footage again. So everyone can see the example which you've just seen, which does have an edit in it. The edit was obviously made for content purposes because they were making a documentary film. They weren't trying to produce something to convince the people that the world was in fact a globe. But yesterday when we were talking, Anthony brought up that he had the raw footage, and the raw footage will basically end this conversation that was doctored footage anyway. So let's have a look at this. Let us have a look at this. This is the raw footage. Now I'm going to play it through one time to start with, and then once I play it through, I want to talk to it, and then I'll play it through again. The first time I'm going to play it through, I'm actually going to play it through at, let's make this a maximum screen, at a faster speed so you can see it, just to get through it. So this is the rotation, no edits, no nothing. I will play this through at the slower speed as well, but I'm just showing it to you first of all, so everyone has a very clear understanding of what we're looking at. So if you see already, that's one full rotation and it continues on. Right, so let's have a look at this, shall we? This is what we're going to do. This is what you'll notice. That, do you see that around the camera there is a rectangle of rails? Okay, that would be 4 sides. We're going to call this rail here side number 1. All right, so everyone's with me. I'm going to call, I don't actually know what this building is, but for me it looks a bit like a gymnasium. So I'm going to call this the gymnasium building just to give us a reference point. So you've got side number 1 of 4 and a gymnasium. If we move forward, we get to side number 2 coming up here. Side number 2 and the gymnasium over to the left. As we go around, we come to side number 3. So this is the third railing of 4. And then we do a 3/4 rotation. We go around to the back, and this is side number 4. And this will be those clouds you saw that they showed at the start of the documentary footage. And then you can see we come all the way back around again, and we're back to side number 1. So that would be 4 plus 1 is 5 sides we've shown. And there's the building that I'm calling the gymnasium. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a gymnasium. So we've done a full rotation. We're back to side number 2. So that means that's 6 sides. And we go one more corner around to side number 7, which is, well, we've actually skipped past that. Sorry. We'll go back to that because I don't want people to say side number 7 at the end and looks out to sea. So therefore we've got a rectangle around the camera, 4 sides. Therefore, if we count 7 sides, that's done 1 full rotation plus 3 more. So that's 1 3/4 full rotation. So if you work that into hours, this is a rotation of somewhere between 40 and 43 hours of continuous rotation, of which the sun is seen the whole time. Now, I don't know what you think about that, and I know what you think about this, but as I said to Anthony last night, for me, I kind of feel like the conversation has finished now about 24 hours of sunlight in Antarctica. I think this evidence would stand up in court, and I think that for you to dispute this, Anthony said last night on one of his videos, he's offered to pay for a flat earther to go to Antarctica. Well, I've kind of worded that the wrong way. He's challenged flat earthers to pay their way to Antarctica. If they come back with different footage from the same location, he will reimburse them for their trip. So flat earthers, you have the ability, if you truly believe what you believe, and if you're correct, to get a free trip to Antarctica. I'm based in the South Island of New Zealand. We have a tourism industry that sends people to Antarctica every summer. COVID might be a bit different this year, but you can get a free trip to Antarctica if you're right. And the man who spent 10 years of his life on Antarctica, the man with probably more footage of Antarctica than any private individual on the face of the planet, is wrong. I just think it's done. Now, let me say this as well, though. This is a bit of a digression. I'm going to show it to you one more time, and I'm going to show it to you as it's filmed speed, and I won't commentate on it. If this is part of your religious beliefs, if you believe that the earth is flat because of your religious beliefs, I'm not going to challenge you on your religious beliefs, but what I am going to challenge you on is stating that there is not 24 hours sun in Antarctica. Your religious beliefs, or should I suggest maybe that your understanding of your religious beliefs do not show that it gets to be dark in Antarctica over summer. So you've got something wrong. There are only two possibilities here. Either my expert, Anthony Powell, with footage, is lying, or you have something wrong. I'm not even challenging you on the flat earth. I think this debunks the flat earth, the model you've got at the moment. All I'm saying is this is debunked. There is 24 hours of sun in Antarctica over summer. That's what I'm saying. If you still believe this, you are being intellectually dishonest. Or go and prove it otherwise. This is evidence. This is what's classed as evidence. You ask for evidence. This is evidence. Right, I'm going to play it for you one more time, and I'll shut up about it. I'll just play the whole clip as it's filmed in its own speed. You can look at it for yourself, and you can either revel in the beauty that is the Earth, the globe, with 24 hours of sun in Antarctica over a day and a half, so continuous sun, and maybe question your own beliefs if you're someone who believes the Earth is flat. Keep believing the Earth is flat if you want, but don't do it on the understanding that there is not 24 hours sun in Antarctica over summer, because there is. Here we go for you guys. One more time, normal speed, as I'll sit back and just let it play. Starting on that first wall. Beautiful, beautiful vision that it is. There is a glitch there. That little glitch there, he said, was a camera glitch. But even if you take it from that camera glitch and say you were to start it here, right? Take the wind, this wind thing here. Even if you were to take it from there, after that little camera glitch, you definitely get a full rotation following the sun. So I don't want to see anything on the internet about that pattern, because after the pattern, there's still a full rotation. This is what they call evidence in the real world, in the real earth, in the real whatever you want to put. These are the clouds again, and these are the clouds that did get repeated in the documentary. You were correct about that, but it was an editing decision, not a falsification decision, I think is what they call it. Lovely, all the way around. There's that building that I said looks like a gymnasium again. And then it's going to come back round to the front, and you are going to see it goes beyond. There's the wind meter again. And the sun is up the whole time. Look, if you are someone who adheres to a flat earth ideology or belief, but you're also someone who says the reason you believe it is because of the evidence, the proof, the tests that you've got, to deny what you've just seen is intellectually dishonest. To cast aspersions saying that this man or me are lying and giving you falsehoods is intellectually dishonest. You have been presented with incredible evidence. Now, if you are an honest actor, and I don't want to use the word actor because you'll go, yeah, well, they're all actors. If you're an honest person, you will now say, okay, now that we know there is 24 hours of sun in Antarctica over summer, where does that leave our beliefs? I'm not even telling you to stop believing the earth is flat. I'm just saying you can now start your conversation from there and see where you end up. Feel free to like, feel free to subscribe. DOCNZ Studios on YouTube. You can also get me DOCNZ on Facebook. And as we've said before, a lot of what we do is not this kind of content. It's more long-form conversations with interesting people. And I hope to see you again sometime when we do another one. Thank you, my friends. Hooroo.